Well, Paul, we searched around for you. We found you fairly locally here in Swansea, and the question that started it all off was, who is Roger Evans? And I guess if you tell me how you knew him, and tell us what you can about him.
Roger came to me in 1978 and he penned this song together. I hadn't really met Rog before. Heard a little bit about him, but not met him. I was a musician at the time, professional, and Roger asked me if I wanted to listen to some songs that he'd penned together. One being the Swansea City Song, the other being Swansea Jack, and a few others, like one called Caswell Bay, with a local landmark. So I got together, I thought, oh, these are really good. I'm interested in helping on this, So Roger came up with a few ideas as well of how we're going to do it. We decided then to go to a studio to record it in Wimbledon, which we did. It was produced by a guy called Mervyn Reid, who was a local producer. From there, everything's history, really.
I can still picture the record now, and some people might say, what's a record? But there it was as a single, black vinyl. I think it had a white paper cover, 50 pence from the club shop.
You're right.
What kind of costs, what kind of things like that were involved in it? How much work went into it?
Not much work that I know, because, this is all behind the scenes that this was done. There was a little blue label that we stuck on it in the middle, and yeah, you're right, it was a nice white sleeve with it as well, which I still got a few copies. But no, I think all the work was done behind the scenes, really. Roger and myself just sort of kept listening to the song and admiring it, because we did like it. We liked that and Swansea Jack, and being totally different songs, both of them. But I've got a story in both of them, I think.
Roger and yourselves, local boys, and you'd both obviously been to the football, were Swansea City fans.
Oh, big time, yeah. Big time Swansea City fans, always have. My first match was against Arsenal in 1966, I believe, when we lost 1-0 in the Cup. So yeah, massive Swansea fan, and Rog was, and I think that's really why Roger and myself got together in the first place, because he knew that I would put everything into it, because he knew how much I loved the Swans.
The players were involved in the Swansea City Song. Any sort of problems getting them to go along and lend their vocals?
Not at all. No, they thought, oh, this is great. Yeah, we'll give this a go. There was Wyndham, I think. Alan Curtis was involved. Robbie, David Giles, I think, was there with us. Neil Robinson at the time as well. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
The two of you and the big white plastic swans out on the pitch performing it. What were those days like?
Well, they were absolutely fantastic. To be honest with you, I remember. I'm sure it was a Cardiff game that we did it, because we did it 2 or 3 times, and we had some girl dancers with us on the pitch as well. And I remember one of the supporters from the opposing side running on the pitch and sort of mounting the swan, which, it didn't go down well. I thought, oh my God, we're going to have a riot on our hands here. But no, it was fine. The only problem we did have is I remember carrying my guitar off at the end, because we'd been in the bar. We came back out to get the gear to take it into the car, and I banged the seats, and down the Vetch, if you bang one, they all go clattering down. So about 20 seats went clattering all the way to Tosh, who was doing a private interview. So I had one of his famous looks.
You say there's a story behind each of the songs that Roger penned and you put the guitar to, and I've already talked to you about that big sort of strum at the beginning of the Swansea City Song. But what are the stories? What are your favourite bits?
To be honest, if you listen to the backing track for Swansea City, it opens up, it lends itself to whatever lyrics really you want to put on it, because I have thought of other ideas. of putting on it, but just for fun, nothing serious. But it was such a good song, I think, Swansea City, that whatever words you put on it, it would work. But what Roger came up with was really special because it told a story about the Vetch, the Swans, and the time, what was happening at the time, like beating Spurs at White Hart Lane. Swansea Jack on the B-side, again, a great song written about a local legend, about Swansea Jack. And what more can I say?
I mean, you were 23, 25, you and Roger, when you put that song together. Before that, you were a professional musician. What about Roger? What do we know about him before the song?
Before the song, Roger just used to play in the clubs. He used to do some duo work, I believe, with a guy called Bobby Armstrong, who's a local boy from Llanelli. And that's all he did, really. He didn't do any writing of note. Before then, these were really his first batch of songs, but after the Swansea City Song, because it was going down so well, by 1980-81, Elton John asked us to do the song for Watford as well, but we had to turn that one down.
I mean, when Elton John comes to you and asks you to write a song and put the music to it, surely you think, we've cracked this?
It wasn't like that, really, because I think it was more the vibes we were getting from Swans, from the Swans. What would they say if we did this for another football club? Because we'd already had Cardiff being interested in it, and God forbid that would never happen.
Were you surprised? I mean, you loved the song, and clearly everybody else does, but were you surprised how almost instantly it took off?
Really surprised, yeah, I've got to be honest. And I mean, I'm more surprised now that when I hear the Swans away, that's the first song they'll sing, all the supporters. And I am really surprised that it stayed for so long. But when people come up to me with ideas for new songs for writing for the Swans, I can't really help them out that much because I don't think you can compete with that song. It was written for the Swans, and it'll always be a Swansea City song, and I think it'll be the only one, to be honest with you, Anthony.
Paul, we're going to take a break here. We're going to play the ballad of Swansea Jack, and when we come back afterwards, we'll talk a little bit more about what happened with yourself and Roger after the song.